Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I would like to welcome you on our webinar. My name is Urszula Wysocka. I'm a country manager of Poland and the content advisor of Efma Business Academy and Advisory. It's a big pleasure to welcome you on our third webinar of our Efma Business Academy series, because during our webinars we talk about people. As you know, at Efma, we support our members in the business challenges. We support them in creating this business success. But also at Efma, we would like to support, and we support our members in developing people, in reskilling, upskilling people. And during our previous webinars, we were talking about people, of course. We were talking how people are important in the business development. And also we were talking about leadership. We were talking about managers, how important is to create the leadership way of managing. We were talking about managers who are very important in supporting people in their development. And today we will talk about talent management challenges. We would like to talk with our experts about the challenges in creating really great talent management strategy. And I would like to introduce my great guest, Yuma Kadel, Strategic Workforce Planning Leader at Mauritius Commercial Bank. Yuma, welcome on our webinar.
Thank you, Ursula. It's a pleasure to be here today with you all.
Dr. Omar Atye, Head of Academy at Arab National Bank. Hello, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Ulo. Thank you.
Michael Lor, Senior Advisor of Efma. Hello, Michael. We don't hear you, but I hope we will hear you.
Good afternoon. Sorry, I was very obedient. I muted myself.
And Jan Sildeczek, a Senior Consultant and GS at Procoms. Hello, Jan.
Hello. It's a pleasure for me to share my experience with all of you. Thank
you very much. Before we start our discussion, I would like to share with you some kind of talent management framework. Preparing to our webinar, I was thinking about how we can define the talent management. And when we look at this slide, I hope that you will agree with me that, of course, we have no doubt that people, not companies, generate value. But in the process of transformation and conquering business challenges, financial institutions need people that are well prepared and engaged in creating business, in creating success. Managing talent well has become crucial for finding opportunity in the midst of change, as leaders must shape a workforce with the skills to deliver on strategy now and in the future. Companies with effective talent management strategies are more innovative, more adaptive to change, have greater employee productivity, and retain key talent. These companies achieve business goals at a very high level. The talent management strategy is based upon business goals. It's the strategy that has rights retaining and hiring, performance management, career development, succession planning, learning and development. So as we see, there are a lot of things to do. If we want to create talent management strategy, if we want really to create talent management program, we need to concentrate on a lot of areas and how to do it. And I would like to discuss with my great guests how to implement, how to create talent management in the organization. And what is also important, I invited for our webinar my guests, my experts who come from HR area and who come from business development area. And it will enable for us to discuss about talent management from different perspectives. And then I think we can start our discussion. First, I would like to ask Yuma, what does talent mean in your bank? Because it's very often I hear and I ask managers, what does talent mean? And it's not such an easy question.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Ursula. Actually, ever since McKinsey's publication of the War for Talent was published, talent management has been high on the priority list of HR professionals, and that too across industries and around the world. Attracting, retaining, and developing talented employees has been critical and is critical to organization success. And senior leaders are even more increasingly aware of this. I see you've quoted PwC. I was reading one of their surveys recently in their 18th annual Global CEO Survey. They found that 61% of CEOs saw that the retention for skills, and talent is a critical issue over the next 5 years, and the ability to attract and manage talent being as the second most critical capability for tomorrow's CEO. With this growing preoccupation, there's been a multitude of interpretation around what this seemingly simple word means. When referring to talent, should we be focusing on the very best performers within the organization? Or when referring to talent, should we be focusing on everyone within the organization to reflect the value of all? The good news is there isn't really a right or wrong answer or right or wrong definition. Just because your definition differs to another organization doesn't mean somebody got it wrong. What is important is to find a definition that works for your organization. And it's not something that is easily done. It does require a lot of work and a lot of thinking. And over the last century, there's been a lot of research and different schools of thought have emerged from this. When we talk about talent, we talk about potential and performance. Some organizations have made a conscious choice of focusing mostly on performance. So for them, whoever is classified as being their highest performers in their performance management system would be their top talents. Other organizations have decided to focus mostly on potential. So whoever displays the highest potential to evolve, they would be the ones they would consider as being the talents. Regardless of whether you decide to focus on performance or potential, both approaches remain very exclusive in nature, in the sense that they focus on a minority few, leaving behind majority. And it creates a very kind of elitist approach towards talent management. Not saying that it's the wrong way. Many organizations have done great work and this is working for them. Then there's another school of thought that goes around mostly to do with the fact that everyone has talent and everyone has potential. We're just waiting to be discovered and ignited. And to answer your question, what does MCB think about this? Allow me to share a few words about who we are. MCB is a 183-year-old financial services group headquartered in Mauritius, with a growing regional presence servicing diverse individual, corporate, and institutional customer base. We have 3,400 strong talent force, which for us represents a rich and diverse culture and workforce. And we are very keen on nurturing this rich and diverse talent pool, which for us constitutes a strong differentiating factor, which differentiates us from our competitors. This is why at MCB, we've decided to adopt a more inclusive approach towards talent management, where we think that everyone is a talent and everyone has potential. As an organization, our role as a HR professional, even line managers, our role is to support our talents in developing this potential. By adopting this approach, this inclusive approach, we ensure that we're not leaving anyone behind and we're including everyone, regardless of where you sit within the organization. You are a talent and you have potential. The responsibility for us is now to ensure that our talents are given access to the right opportunities, to the right stretch, and to the right development to be able to develop this potential, whether in the role that they're holding now or in the future one. And this approach also allows us to recognize the value and contribution of each and every talent within the group. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As you said, when we think about talent, we shouldn't think about the people talented that we've got now in the company. We should also think about the future, how we can support people in developing their skills and developing their talents. Thank you very much. And Michael, I would like to ask you from your perspective, from your managerial perspective, what's important to create talent management in a financial institution? In the aspect of creating the business success?
You know, Zula, when I first received your question, I was asking myself, should I answer this theoretically or should I answer this practically? What kind of answer? I will leave out the theoretical part. I think you have seen the theoretical part. I have had the opportunity to work with many organizations in the region over the last, I don't know, I'm so old. Okay, over the past 30 over years. So I think what is the most important thing about talent management is that many organizations today basically says that business success comes before talent management. If I make enough money, if I'm profitable, and I have enough money to spend, therefore I can there invest into talent management. So effectively, talent management to many organizations in the region effectively becomes a nice to have rather than a need to have. And that is precisely the problem of many organizations that I work with. Most recently, I worked with an organization in this region, and I was helping them in this matter. And it was really difficult to convince the shareholders and the board that, hey, talent management needs to come before your business success. Otherwise, whatever business success you have today will not be sustainable. And it took a long time. It took a long time because, on the other hand, the board's remarks were pretty simple. Well, you know, Michael, if I don't make money, I don't need people. If I don't need people, I don't need talent management. But it was really difficult because I think at the end of the day, talent management is crucial because it is a constant and a consistent approach or consistent process to actually attract, retain, develop high quality employees. And as how Cadell mentioned it just now, how you interpret high quality employees, I guess it would depend on which organization you come from, what kind of an environment you come from, what kind of a state of growth that your company is in. So eventually what we had to do was we had to enforce across that at the end of the day, sustainability and maintaining momentum for an organization is a key factor for any organization. If whatever success that you have today is not sustainable, you are unable to build upon this momentum, then the organization's business success will therefore not be there in the medium to the longer term. So therefore, there is a need to do talent management to make sure that we create a motivated workforce. I guess, you know, at the end of the day, all of us always say is that the reason we are here today is because of our customers. And without the customers, yeah, you don't need a bank. I'm a little bit different. I believe the reason we're here today is because of your employees. Because if you don't have your employees, you will not have your customers. If you don't have your customers, you will not have business success. So I guess if you go back to basic, if you think about it, if you don't look at it from a theoretical point of view, you look at it from a practical point of view. Today, many organizations say that if I make money, if I pay enough, I can attract the best talents in the world to come and work for me. All right. But I guess if you have worked in many different types of organization at different stages of their growth and development, you will realize that putting the cart before the horse sometimes works. All right. You kind of load people into your cart and effectively you need somebody to drive the horse. Otherwise, putting the horse in front of the cart may not necessarily go to the right place. So I decided to do this in a non-theoretical manner. I think from a practical point of view, talent management is crucial. It needs to be sustainable. It maintains sustainability and momentum for the organization. It keeps talent, it attracts talent. And most importantly, it creates a culture of success. It creates a culture that, I'm motivated. I just want to do a little bit more. So at the end of the day, if you want to start from basic, start from accepting the fact that the most important part of any organization is your people. I know it's very difficult. I've not been a HR manager. I've always run businesses. And it's quite odd for me to say that, but it is really true. So Zila, that's my comment to your pretty long question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as you said,
people, not companies, generate value and generate our business. We need to remember about this. Thank you very much. And Omar, I've got the question for you because you are a head of academy at Arab National Bank. And can you share with us what is your bank's talent management? What is the strategy of the talent management? Do you have special programs, initiatives linked with this?
Yes, thank you, Ursula. Good morning, everybody. Much of what Michael said and Yumna apply actually to what we are doing. My background is after being a university professor, but for the last 25 years was in managing training in banking, like in 3 banks in Saudi Arabia. The talent management strategy, I would say, is a typical talent management strategy to attract good people, retaining good employees, develop their skills, and motivate them. So the primary purpose of talent management, like any place, is to create a motivated workforce which will stay with your company in the long run or with your bank. For that purpose, we have really special programs. We have 2 kinds of programs. One for the newcomers to the bank, and here comes the role of the recruitment. I always believe that the recruitment department is the most important part of the HR. I'm head of academy, but I'm saying that recruitment is the most important one, because if you have good input, you have good output. If you had, garbage in, garbage out at the end of the day. So we are keen always to attract good people. For that purpose, we have a program called Graduates. What is Graduates? Graduates is like creating a pool of talent within the bank. And very interestingly, recently, this is special for our national bank, our Arab National Bank, that we are recruiting only females, because the goal here is to employ more females within the bank, as there are many Saudi female who are very qualified and unemployed. So everybody found that it is unfair to have very little girls within the bank. So now we are targeting like 25% of the workforce to be females. So for the last 3 years, we are recruiting for this kind of program only females. So every year we are recruiting like 25 ladies graduated from top universities with very good skills in English and computer and everything, and usually graduating from economics, management, computer, finance, and banking and accounting, something like that. For this program, we have in the academy like almost 1 year training program. It is between class training and rotation within the whole bank. So every girl will attend so many training courses. In between, she will be rotating between the bank department, so she will be well-rounded. During this period, we will distribute them into the bank with suitable places and so on. Of course, you will have always drops because we are always trying to evaluate their performance and their knowledge and everything and their attendance and like that. So these are the graduates who are like a talent pool. The other part of the programs is what we call truffles. Truffles is a strange word, which means like kind of fungus, which is a hidden product. So we believe that there are so many hidden talents in the bank, and we have to discover them. For that purpose, we have like at least every year two levels of talent. One of them is for the middle management, and one of them is for the senior management. The same which applies to the graduates applies also to these truffles people. They go through a series of training programs. Then they will have rotation not only in their department but within the whole bank. So these people are existing in the bank, but they are like hidden talents, junior position with good talent, but nobody is discovering them. For that purpose, we have a mechanism how to select them. So these people, when they go through these training programs, in the future, whenever we have a vacant position in the middle management or in the top management, the senior management, we have this pool of talent that we can select and and employ there. So these are the special programs that our bank now is doing. That is in brief.
Thank you very much, Omar. And what you've said, it's not only the, we shouldn't not only realize that we need to look for the talent, but we also need to have prepared the strategy, the detailed program, the whole process of looking for the talent. Thank you very much. And then I would like to ask Jan. Jan, you've got the experience in the managerial area. You were the manager of IT area at the banks, but it's a very specific area. I think more difficult to find the talents. But can you share with us? Your experience in the talent management?
Okay, so hello to everybody once more. Yes, that's true what you said, that partially I was responsible for the IT management of the bank, but also with the time being, I was responsible for the all back office, so all workers which are in the background of the bank, which are not directly in a connection with the customer. And also for all the logistics which is behind. So I ended also as a manager for commercial. So my experience with the people and talent management is, let's say, much broader than the IT, which is very good because it's let's say some comparison of different worlds. So. Yes, if you compare a businessman or businesswoman in your first line, which is in direct contact with the customers, and if you compare the back office workers or IT programmers, which are, let's say, more introvert people, then this is really a different story also for the talent management, for the HR. So I have heard which my prerequisite speakers told, and it is very interesting, and I really can agree with let's say the way of seeing or looking at the talent management. For me, it's really very important. It's to, let's say, to attract, to find or choose the right people from outside. But I think, and in my experience, it was really the most important to speak about the other parts of the theory what you showed at the beginning of this webinar, which is the, let's say, development part of the people, the retaining of the people, to motivate, the motivation strategy of the company, because, let's say, is also from the cost point of view, it is very expensive to hire new people, and it's really less expensive to retain the existing experienced people. So that's why, for me, talent management doesn't mean only let's say with the big assumption to hire somebody new for outside, which where can I see the potential into the future. What is important to say, and from which my experience also is something which is interesting, is that sometimes if we are speaking about the talent management, when people are translating the talent, okay, talent, oh, he is very talented, this is a young person which has a talent, which has a potential. By my experience, that's not very true. So I think that you can have also, let's say, elder people which are talented, and which you also have to work on them, to develop them, to motivate them, to have a retain strategy for them. And even sometimes the word talent and also the talent management is, in my opinion, wrongly understood as that this is something where can I have my future managers. So these are talented people which can be in 5 or in 3 or 5 years, I can count on them that they will be new managers, for example. But let's say it could be true for some positions, but as a former manager of IT and back office, I can tell you that there are a lot of workers which are also let's say necessary for the company's success, which you don't see from the customer point of view, but they are giving the business persons the tools for, let's say, making the best business and get the best of the customer. And you have also worked on those. So in my experience, for example, I had a young lady which worked already 10 years for the bank at the same position in back office at work as worker, and I wanted to promote her. So I asked her after an interview if she would like, let's say, to go a step higher and to be a manager of the department. She was very sad. She told me that why I am not satisfied with her, because she's satisfied with her job and she wants to do the job also for the next 10 years because she loves the job and she doesn't want to manage people. So you have also here developed the talent, but not in the only managerial direction. What also is very, very important to say that yes, we are speaking as a talent management that it's an HR strategy. Yes, if you look for some articles for some studies, it seems that okay, it's HR, it's talent management, so they are doing something. They are preparing some analysis, some strategies. They propose it to the board of directors. The board of directors approves it, and yes, we go. We have a green light. It's very nice. I don't think so. I think that there is a strict and really very tough connection with the strategic management of the company. The talent management is a strategic issue, and as also Michael said already, that some people say, or some managers say, okay, if I will get my monies from the business, then I can start speak about the talent management. No, it's really vice versa. I agree with you, Michael, that that's very important to know that first you have to build on the people, then you can let's say expect the better results, better company development. So the business success really comes from the talent management, and I can translate it. Maybe sorry for the shortcut, but I can translate it for a manager. If there are some managers here and hearing us what we are saying, so from my experience, it's very easy. You as a manager want your bonuses, your yearly bonuses. If you want your yearly bonuses, you have to have the best team around you. So you really need the talent management, and then we will further in the next couple of minutes. Then we can speak about what, how, and so. But I will then come to you. So thanks for now.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry if you hear some noise, but you know, this is our connection from home. What you've said, Jan, I think that and everybody agree with this, that when we talk about talent management, we should think about the cooperation between HR and business. In this way, we will create really great talent. This is the first thing. And also, I think it's also very important to remember that our talents are not only managers, our talents are also experts. And I can share with you the same experience. I had a really great employee who was really great. And I was really happy that I can share with her that you will be promoted. And she said, wow, no, I don't want. I don't want. I like my job. What do you want to do with me? And I think it's also very important to understand what are our people and what is their main goal and how they would like to develop. It's very important. And so I think that we are going into the deep. So we need to look at our people, and we need to think what is very important for them and how they would like to get success and how they would like to develop. I always say that our talents are not supermans. Our talents are really great people with potential. So they don't have to be only the best. They can be the best in the future, but we need to help them to develop. So I think I think this our part of our discussion has started our discussion about how to implement the talent management programs, and I would like to ask you about it. But before, I would like to ask our participants about their talent management strategy. I will share the poll question with all the participants, and I've got the question. Do you have a talent management program in your institution? I see that all the time our participants are answering our question. Okay. So I will share with you the results. And as you see, most of our participants, most of the institutions that our participants from have got the talent management program, but there is some group that of the institutions that are working on it, and there is also a group of institutions that don't have talent management program. So I see that we've got a lot of things to do in the talent management program and in creating talent management strategies. And thank you for your answers. And I would like also to invite our participants to ask the questions by chat. I see that some questions appear. I will ask these questions for my guests at the second part of our meeting, and then I would like to come back to our discussion about creating the talent management program, and I would like to ask you, Yuma, what do you think are the challenges faced by organizations when it comes to managing talent?
Right, thank you, Ursula. I think in today's world, many organizations are having to face this more or less similar challenges when it comes to managing their talent. These challenges are at times felt even more when the context or the market is restricted or
see that we've got some problem with connection. Yeah, now it's better.
Yeah, I think I'll just have to leave my camera off for this time. Okay. I'm having connection issues like we mentioned before.
No problem.
So coming back to your question, I'll just start again. I think today most companies are facing more or less a similar kind of challenges when it comes to managing their talents. Some of these challenges are felt even more when the talent market is so restricted or small, like in the context of Mauritius. And this is further amplified by our current situation with COVID-19 impediments. And the challenges that we're currently facing and most organizations are facing today is around talent sourcing, attraction, and development. The financial services sector being highly regulated and being increasingly digitalized, it is crucial that we have a strong network and access to the pools of talents on the market, especially for critical positions. A key success factor for organizations today is its ability to proactively source potential candidates for critical or what we call strategic positions. To do this, one needs to have a sound strategic workforce planning mechanism in place, allowing it to anticipate what is happening on the marketplace and offering greater visibility on the future of work. When we talk about future of work, we talk about giving visibility to our leaders around what jobs are going to be emerging or transforming, what jobs are here to stay and which one will not exist. The challenge today for leaders is to be able to read these signals now and for the future. The more we have visibility on what is happening inside and outside of our organization, the stronger our decisions and strategies will be. This visibility is very important for talent management specialists as well, because this is going to help them determine which strategy to use when recruiting for specific areas. Are we going to be farming or hunting for these positions? Visibility which can be achieved by partnerships with key players, whether recruiters or talents. At MCB, our HR function is endowed with a strategic talent acquisition arm that continually puts the group at the crossroad of information regarding talent on the market. This function connects MCB to individual talents on the market, as well as develops partnerships with the best recruitment firms in the various markets that we're present. So sourcing is a big challenge for companies today, but there are different mechanisms you could put in place to alleviate these challenges. Another challenge that companies are facing today is around attraction of talent. For many organizations right now, there is a need to create a space of their own in the minds of their talent. And they're asking themselves a lot of questions about how to do so. How do we make ourselves visible to our talents? What channels do we use? What messages do we use to get their attention? What are the most impactful communication channels that we can use to both get their attention and be visible? Talents today are extremely selective in their career choices. They search for organizations with which they share common values, and this is even more pronounced in Generation Y and Z population, who seek meaning and purpose when choosing their careers. If an organization is committed to sustainability goals, whether locally or internationally, for example, climate change or well-being of the community, this does help enhance its employer brand and make itself more visible to talent. Capitalizing on social media platforms enable organizations to communicate such goals, and talents are extremely receptive to this. True to its philosophy, success beyond numbers, the MCB Group is committed to being a responsible employer, namely by delivering on 3 of their main pillars within its corporate sustainability program. The first pillar is a vibrant and sustainable economy. Second is the preservation of environment and cultural heritage. And thirdly, individual and collective well-being. Under this third pillar, the group's success is attributed to teamwork, integrity, but also experience and skills of people, amongst other things. We've seen from experience, we've communicated a lot, whether internally and externally, to our stakeholders, to our internal talents and to prospective talents on the market. And talents are indeed extremely receptive to these kinds of messages because they are looking for things that are bigger than themselves. And organizations which are able to show this to talents, they'll be able to attract strong talents that are available on their market and who will be part of their talent pool. I think one of the challenges that many organizations are facing today is from a development perspective also. Studies have shown that the new generation is much more interested in development opportunities today. These are taken into account when selecting potential employers, together with other more traditional criteria like salary packages. A key differentiator for an organization will be its ability to design adapted and bespoke development journeys for their individual talents. When we talk about talents, we talk about the personalization of development actions to respond to their needs. The challenge will be how good organizations are in developing adapted programs for their talent. And this is not only going to upgrade the competencies of the talent pool, but it's going to act as a strong motivational element for them as well. Of course, these journeys shouldn't be cast in stone. They need to evolve and adapt according to the needs of the business and the marketplace. For us to be able to personalize such development solutions, one of the key enablers for us is our mastery of data. We need to be able to have access to the data. We need to be able to cut through the data, analyze, understand it, and know more about our employees. The more we know about them, the better we will be able to create personalized or have personalized development conversations with them, anticipating and crafting appropriate learning journeys, not only addressing the organization's need, but also addressing their aspirations. like the other members of the panel was sharing before, you know, sometimes you go to talents and you ask them whether they want to have, you want to promote them to another position, but it's not part of their career aspirations, and pushing them won't do anyone any justice. So when we want to encourage, motivate our talents, it's not just about what we need as an organization, but it's about what the career aspirations of the talents are as well. And I think these kind of conversations shouldn't just be the concern of HR or the senior leaders, but especially line managers who need to be able to feel the pulse of these talents, because at the end of the day, line managers are the ones working closely with the talents. They need to be able to observe and maintain conversations with them. A lot of, I think, other members of the panel would agree with me that the real key players here are people, but for us to get to the people, we have to go through the line managers who work with these talents on a day-to-day basis. And at the end of the day, the line managers are the real, what we call talent builders and multipliers within organizations. So I think, just to sum up, the sourcing side is a bit of a challenge today. And I think all organizations are fighting their way to find the best talents out there. Attracting their attention is very important too. And development. I think one of the key success factor of organizations, and especially in talent management, is the development aspect of the program, because it's not just about taking the person how he or she is today, but it's about supporting them in their development and in their growth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And also, as you said, when we talk about creating talent management strategy and creating talent management program, we need to engage mostly most of the areas of the financial institutions to cooperate and create really good program. And Omar, I would like to ask you the same question. What do you think are the challenges the organization face in preparing?
I think Yumna covered a lot during her answer, but I would be very specific. In my experience, the main challenges here are first, the tight market. We are in a young generation. 40% of Saudi population are very young. And in order to find the talent that you are looking for, it becomes very, very difficult. So the market is tight and you have to attract good people. And I said before that we need to create, to attract the suitable people for suitable positions before we starting, investing in them. And I usually support the profiling. As a bank, you need to know who are good for sales, who are good for back office, and so on, who are people, or so on. So the market is really tight. The other challenge is the compensation issue. And here, interestingly funny, sometimes you attract good people, you train them, you invest in them, then because the market is tight, they go to other competitors. And here comes the question, do we really need to invest in people before we make sure they are staying with us? There was a dialogue between a CEO and a training manager. The CEO is asking the training manager, what if we train them and they go? The training manager will answer, what if we don't train them and they stay? So knowing that the market is tight and knowing that if we invest in people and train them and develop them, and sometimes some of them will go, we still train people and try. Here comes the how to maintain them, how to attract them to stay with us, how to retain them. So tight market, compensation, and the plan to retain them. So here comes the engagement programs, like the investment for employees, like giving loans, special loans, whether personal loans or housing loans to employees. It's a kind of creating a loyalty between the employee and the organization. The turnover is really a very big problem within Saudi Arabia. As I said, the competition is high. And instead of us being selective, the employees are being now selective. And sometimes you interview a new guy and he's saying that I have 3 offers. So now here you come to attract more. Interestingly, the central bank is always conducting like comparison studies among banks who are, among the salaries, who are paying more, who are paying less, and so on. So now banks, they know the competition and they know how to retain their people. So in short, tight market compensation, turnover are the main challenges now within the talent management strategy. Of course, the culture of each organization is different. So I think now in Saudi Arabia, we understood how to attract good people, how to develop them, how to engage them, how to make some kind of loyalty, so that we make sure that the turnover is minimum. That's in short.
Thank you very much, Omar. And you ask a very good question: how to engage the best people in business transformation. And this question, I would like to continue this discussion about this. And I would like to ask Jan. Jan, what do you think about this? How to engage the best people?
Okay, so let's start with that we already have hired some people. We have them. So now, okay, how to answer on the questions which Omar told, that the discussion between the HR manager and the CFO, of course. So what to do if we don't develop the people? What to do if we don't retain the people? So let's say then we are speaking about some benefits, some creating of an environment in the company, in the bank, which is really attractive for the people, the environment where the people, let's say, feel okay, let's say comfortable, but comfortable means that they can bring the best performance, they can bring the best results, and on this we have to, let's say, work on. It's a very continuous process. It has to be a strategic process, so it has to go from really not from HR, but from the top of the company. It has to be really supervised. There should be some person in the board of directors in direct connection. Mostly it's the CEO, which is in direct connection with the HR manager. And let's say the benefit scheme should be really well organized. I can bring some let's say examples of about what is attracting after my, let's say, experience with more banks, and what is or what seems to be important for the people there, because we already told about compensation schemes. Yes, of course, it's very important to have a good compensation scheme, to have an attractive salary, to have something which is competitive on the market. So this is very important to have, let's say, people which are not leaving you when they get offer, which is let's say €100 more than they have now. So which means maybe €100 for them, but which means really very big costs after they leave. So you have tried to be competitive. There are a lot of studies on the market which can give you the idea how your salaries are in comparison of the market for special positions. As I was a board member, and we bought these evaluations, these market evaluations on the yearly basis. So every year we try to compare our strategy with the strategy with what we saw, how the market is growing with salaries on positions. So we didn't compare the positions in the bank, but we compared the positions on the market. So for example, the director of the internal audit, we compared it with the salaries of directors of internal audits on different banks. And so we had the strategy to that salary will not be the point where we will let's say be somewhere on the very somewhere very down on the level. So but this is the only one part of the game. There are a lot of others. Of course, we have very good. I think very good is mentoring and coaching, which you are giving, especially for the youngers or for the fresh hired people. But there are also some other benefits, which is a flexible time, nice working environments, coffee corners, relax zones. But the people are also hearing on giving higher responsibility. So if you trust the employee and if you give him higher responsibility, then it's much more motivated. Then he's much more loyal. Even if he sees that if everything is micromanaged, then maybe in some time he will leave the company. Even he could have a very high salary comparison with the market, but he doesn't like micromanagement, for example. Open door policy. For me, this was something which was very important, that you hear the people as a manager. You don't interrupt them. You don't say them that it's a bullshit what you are saying. You hear them, and then you act. Then you act. Then you measure what you act. So, and the people see the results, and you can remind them, this was your idea. This was your idea, and this is very important for them. So we very successful were brainstormings, what we did with the people about what they think, what could be the part of the bank which can change, what should be changed, what could be changed, what is nice to have, and then we made strategy plans and action plans, and the people were really motivated because they saw that something is happening and we are hearing them. So this is also for me part of the motivation. Of course, I think it's standard, it's normal that you have to train the people, to develop, to send them for conferences. I hope when this time will end, then we can meet also in person, not only via this technology. Even thanks for the technology, that we don't stop using the connection between the people, but okay, I would really prefer some personal contact. Of course, some small topics like is the dress code, or some free dress code in the company is also something which is in banking industry is not very popular, because the banks are some kind of conservative institutions. But I know some banks, and I'm now working for one of them, where the dress code is cancelled, and the people are really happy about it. So there are a lot of possibilities how to retain the people. And last but not least, at the end, is also necessary to say that we should have also some exit strategies for people, because it will happen that there will be some turnover, definitely, and the people are looking at the people which are leaving, and the way how we are saying goodbye to them, it's also something which can motivate the people which are staying at the company. So
thank you very much. Yeah, I think it's also very important. It is said that people are joining company, they are leaving manager. It's also it's worth to remember about this. And also, I think what you've said is very linked with the question from the participants. I will ask you, Jan, this question: which should be message to which message should be sent to those managers who believe technology is more important than people?
Okay, as a former really long years IT manager, when I was leading the IT management, IT department or IT division, let's say around 10 years. So I can tell you that not the IT technology is the saver. The process is the saver, and the process means the people which are working on the process. So IT is a tool. IT is a tool which you can use, but IT will not supply the will not let's say come instead of the process. IT itself will it can help you, but it will not solve the everything. So it means that you have first people and then IT. And if somebody came to me and told, okay, we can buy this very pretty, sexy, funny system, which will help us a lot. So I told him, okay, but this is the system itself will do nothing. If you don't have the right people which are working with the system, which we have if we don't have the right people which are supporting the system, which are maintaining the system, and at the end, there are people which are which have to understand the system, how it works. And I implemented really a lot of systems for the bank, and I can tell you there were some of them which we had to throw out of the window after some months or years of usage, because they were really not helping the people, and the people were the important. So we didn't throw out the people, but we thrown out the system. So very clearly for me, people then IT.
Yeah, thank you very much. And Michael, I would like to ask you, what would you add? How to engage the best people in the business transformation?
Let me share with you an example that I had the opportunity to engage with an organization about, say, 12, 13 years ago. And this particular organization is a financial institution in the region that I operate in. During this period, the organization was actually had hostile takeover on the head of the organization. And if you have ever worked in an organization, it is not exactly the place that you want to be. All right, when you suddenly realize that somebody's going to take me over, I'm going to become a second-class citizen, and therefore it may not be the best place to be. And if you are a talent, and even if you're not a talent, you're probably not going to be there. Just to share with you some of the results of this organization, and later I'll share with you the discussion that I had with some of these managers subsequently, maybe 8 years later, 10 years later, when all of them are out of the organization, and I asked them certain questions. Now, during this period of the hostile takeover, what happened was that this organization actually grew its P&L during the 24 months from about 300 million ringgit Malaysia to about 680 million ringgit Malaysia. This organization grew its workforce from about 5,000 over, close to about 7,500 employees. This organization managed to basically hire and retain close to about 30% of their senior management team. And all this were taking place in an environment whereby the organization was basically going to be swallowed up, and people doesn't know whether will I have a job tomorrow, and if I have a job tomorrow, if today I'm the head of consumer banking, will I be still the head of consumer banking, or am I serving coffee the next time we meet? Now, 8 years later, when I met some of these people who work in the organization, and I asked them, I said, why did you stay on? Why did you stay on, and why did you make the organization a success? And I believe some of the answers they give to you pretty interesting to answer your question, Uzila. What exactly do you want to look for when you undergo a business transformation? Number one, the people could see that the organization wanted to engage the best people. Meaning a lot of people were willing to join the organization because they realized that, hey, you know, a lot of people who are pretty well established in the industry were prepared to join the bank, and I want to join the bank too. All right. Reason is very simple. This appears to be a winning team. I want to be part of the winning team. So the importance of creating a winning culture within an organization, no matter what kind of a situation that you may be, is extremely important, because employees who are lower down the pecking order don't really care. Am I going to be taken up? Am I not going to be taken up? What is most important is that is my organization winning? And if my organization is winning, I want to be part of this winning team. All right, so that's important. Number two, what I gathered from them was that leadership was important. Leadership was important because they find that the organization at the top, from the CEO downwards, they were transparent, they were honest, they were genuine. There was no hiding to say that, oh, you know, when we go over, things will be fine and dandy, you should have no problem, you still get your job, you still get your pay, don't worry, just hang on, stay on. That is what people will say. But what happened in this particular organization, the message that were communicated across was that, look, we are probably going to be swallowed lock, stock, and barrel. And the only way you got to establish yourself is that when you get swallowed, you choke their throat. All right, what do you mean? You choke their throat because you become so big, you become so successful that the swallowing party will suddenly realize that this is not a normal organization. So in terms of leadership, the ability to be genuine, the ability to show that you care, the ability to show that you are honest in the way you communicate was extremely important. Thirdly and finally, it was all about the organization's strategy. People need to see that this organization has a strategy. This organization is not playing dead and say that, come eat me, we're not going to survive anymore, you guys go find a job. But this organization had a strategy that says that we're going to execute this, we're going to achieve this, and the way we're going to achieve this is this, 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 and this. And it doesn't matter whether at the end of the day, when you get swallowed, all right, what's going to happen to you? What was more important was that the organization's strategy, the people that work in the organization was able to see that this is something which I want to be part of. This is something that I can see that's going to happen and that's going to take place. So if I could just summarize this, I mean, from this simple organization, I think in any success business or business transformation or any survival of a business in a very competitive state, what is most important is that the organization needs to have or to be able to bring in the best people. All right. Number two, the organization requires leadership that is transparent, honest, and caring. And number three, the organization requires a strategy that says, I'm going to win. All right. And this is how we're going to do it. And you are part of it. So this is my simple look at this organization. And this is a real case. This happens maybe about 12, 13 years ago. Thanks, Ursula.
Thank you very much, Michael. I think what you've said is we should start from just the strategy of organization, from creating some spirit in the organization, spirit of winning, and then we can work with our people, we can engage our people. Thank you very much. And I've got the question for Yumna. It's also the question from our participants. What does potential mean? And how do you take care of employees with potential?
Okay. Yes, I did see that question. I was planning to type it out, but I just thought I'll say it out loud. I'm just going to try to answer the question with the video on. In case I get issues, I'll just switch it off. Before deep diving into what potential means, allow me to just brush through the evolution of people management to just put into context how potential came about. I'm sure everyone knows about it, but it's just good to take a step back to talk about it. In the 19th century, a lot of people-related decisions were based on intelligence, experience, and past performance. By the early 20th century, IQ had justifiably found its place in the recruitment and selection process, with academic qualifications being used as a measurement for it. Back then, jobs were relatively similar in nature, and it was thought back then that past performance would be a very strong predictor of future output. So when looking for accountants, CEOs, or even lawyers, your candidate pool would have most probably been filled with the best accountants, the best CEOs, and the best lawyers out there, because we thought for you to be able to do well in that job, you must have had done it before. Then came the movement of competencies, where it was proposed that for workers, or especially managers, we need to be evaluating them against specific set of competencies or characteristics that separate typical performers to outstanding performance. And the thinking for that, the timing for this thinking was right, because it coincided with the technology evolution and industry congruence, which made jobs very complex and unique in nature, often rendering past performance irrelevant. So instead of looking at just intelligence or past performance, we were looking at the candidates having the right set of competencies for the different roles. We are now at the cusp of a new era, that of potential. And when we talk about potential, we talk about abilities. And when we talk about potential, oops.
Let's maybe switch off. Yeah.
I'll just do that.
Thank you.
So technology here is not our friend today, but I'll try to I'll try to go on. So when we're looking for candidates, we decided to look for people with the right combination of intelligence, skills, and other attributes. And for leadership roles, we started moving away from IQ and more towards emotional intelligence. And so, like I was saying, we are now at the cusp of a new era where we're focusing mostly on people's potential, their ability to grow and adapt to contexts or responsibilities which are more complex in nature or even very different. Even markets, industries, organizations, and jobs are changing ever so quickly that it's nearly impossible for us to know what competencies managers will need to succeed in a few years' time. Therefore, potential has become exceedingly important, even at the top. Companies need to find the executives who are able to develop new skills and knowledge to constantly suit evolving circumstances. To come back to your question about what potential means, I think potential, I shared before that it's about our ability to grow and adapt to fundamentally different and increasingly complex responsibilities or contexts. And I think potential is made up of 5 key components. The first one is having the right kind of information. We know from research that employees with high potential have an extreme commitment to excel in the pursuit of unselfish goals. They want to leave their mark. They aspire to big collective goals, which shows deep humility and invest in getting better at everything they do. There's other components as well, which is an insatiable curiosity and a learning agility that usually propels them to explore new adventures, avenues, and ideas. They have a keen insight as well that allows them to see connections where others don't. And they have a very high level of engagement with their work, but also with the people they work with. Having a strong determination enables them to overcome setbacks and obstacles. Obviously, when we're talking about all this, it doesn't mean that we're forgetting about other factors like intelligence, experience, or performance, or even specific set of competencies, especially ones related to leadership. But what we're saying is that potential now should be higher up on our priority list. You asked also a question about how do we take care of employees with potential. I think one of the ways to do so, and one of the most go-to strategy, is around reward, everything to do with compensation and benefits. We know from research that pay is a primary reason why employees with high potential leave an organization, and pay is a major driver of employee engagement. People do put in commitment and discretionary effort if they feel that they are being rewarded in line with their value and achievements. It therefore seems an obvious option to use rewards to encourage high potentials to stay within an organization. However, we need to be careful when we're doing this, and it needs to be done with due diligence and care. A recent report from Korn Ferry has shown that companies have chosen to link their reward strategies with talent segmentation, which allows them to individualize reward, both to boost retention, but also to drive performance. So one of the key ways to take care of our employees with potential is through reward. Another way to do so is by giving employees with potential the autonomy to take the lead. We know that employees with potential are naturally driven and will gladly take the lead on projects and initiatives. Encouraging this will not only promote ownership and accountability, but also the leadership capabilities required to lead bigger teams or larger projects later down the line. I think our role as HR professionals is to recruit talented employees, get out of their way. We just need to give them the means and the context and let them work the magic. So autonomy is key here. Lastly, but most importantly, I think, one of the ways that we take care of our employees with potential is via development. As mentioned before, curiosity is a key component for potential, and we need to be able to give them access to learning opportunities. Since employees with potential are highly motivated to learn and succeed, giving them blended learning opportunities through online classes, in-person training, or seminars will encourage them to keep growing in their role. When it comes to development, and especially development for high potential employees, stretch assignments are key here because they help strengthen leaders' identities, accelerate their growth, focus on their career ambitions, but also further enhance their motivation. We need to be careful though when we're planning for such initiatives. We don't want people to be stretched beyond their limits, obviously. We want to have well-rounded, values-led leaders who see the world through a wide-angle lens, and the right stretch assignments are what gets people there. The challenge now for us is to find that optimal level of discomfort in the next project or in the next role, because that's where the most of the learning happens. So to sum up, for us to be able to take care of employees with potential, we need to have a sound reward strategy for them in place. We need to be able to empower them and give them autonomy to take the lead on projects. And lastly, we need to be able to craft key development journeys for them, but also craft stretch assignments which are going to both be applicable and to our organization's needs, but also to their career aspirations.
Thank you very much. I think that that what you've said is a good summary of our discussion, because when we think about talent, we need to think about, first, of course, we need to think about people with potential, as we said during our conversation, and because we need to go to the end of our meeting, of our discussion, but topic is really very, very I think very wide, and when we talk about talent management, we can talk about different aspects, about people, about tools, about strategy, about the whole process. So I think we'll continue this, of course, this topic in the future. But now, finalizing our discussion, I would like to ask Jan, maybe first you, for short, if you can, in one sentence, because we need to finalize we need to go to the end. But can you please share with us and what your recommendation? What would you recommend from business point of view, from the manager point of view? What would you recommend to HR? How to create? What are the important areas in the talent management? How to cooperate?
Okay, so I will try to be short. So for the HR, it's important to build a strategy and to propose the strategy to the board of directors, to include them to the strategy and to have the approval for this, and to go on with the strategy. And what the strategy should include is, let's say, to how to get the chain of the attracting, developing, retaining, and motivating the people. So they should have the answer on each of those points. Should be some, of course, connected with the strategy of the company, with the strategy of the brand. There should be strategy for the onboarding of new people. Should be strategy of the inboarding of, let's say, already experienced employees. Should be the benefit strategy, should be included, the pipeline succession planning. So it means if somebody will leave, whom to shift to this position, because it should not be every time about hiring new manager. You can promote also your talented people. There should be really regular evaluations from the HR point of view to the employees, which means in form of surveys, in form of workshops, in form of some brainstormings, and of course the evaluation should be connected with the performance measuring of the people, and with the right compensation scheme, as I already mentioned, and not forget to the exit strategy, which is also very important.
Thank you very much.
Was it short enough?
Yeah, of course, as we said, the topic is very wide, and so we can talk about it for the whole day, and we won't be enough. And Michael, and I would like to ask you for short recommendation in one sentence, if you can.
Okay, not going to do it in one sentence, but okay, I'm not going to talk to you about what is talent management program and so on and so forth. I think you Google, you get 100 different models out there. Let me tell you what organizations shouldn't do. Organizations shouldn't look at talent management as a piecemeal effort. Organizations shouldn't treat talent management as something that I do and you need to understand. So communication is extremely important. All right, people need to understand. And I think what is the most important piece of talent management in order to be successful is what's in it for me. I think our employees need to understand that no, you're doing talent management just for yourself because you want to make sure you have a succession plan. But what is most important is what's in it for me. And I think the biggest risk in any talent management, and this is my last point, Ursula, talent management must not be seen to be just a lip service to make HR looks good and to basically for HR to say, yay, I've achieved my KPI for this year. So I'm sorry I took more than one sentence, but that is what I would say. This is something I don't want to do. Thank you, Ursula.
Thank you very much. And Omar, I would like to ask you for your recommendation.
Yeah, in short, Ursula, I would say before building a talent strategy, you have to identify your organization goals and priorities and to conduct like kind of gap analysis. And here comes the traditional concept of SWOT analysis. What are our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, our threats? Like talking about our bank, our priority now, for example, as we depend a lot on customers and the competition is very high, to look, for example, as the customer experience. Now, we are not talking about customer service. We are talking about customer experience. It means that we are looking at all touch points between the customer and the bank. And also we are going in another direction, the digital transformation. So these two things are really key points when building our talent strategy. That is in short.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And then I would like to ask John Berry, who is our Efma CEO, for summarizing our discussion. I think it will be good finish of our discussion.
Thanks, Ursula. First of all, let me thank everybody for the quality contributions that the panelists have put together today. I think there's been some really great ideas that have been shared. So really appreciate their time and their contributions this morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you happen to be. I think for me, then, certainly in creating an organization, you need to be able to create a place which is going to be a great place to work, a place where people want to come and work. They want to come and work there because of the culture. People talk about income as being an issue. Yeah, income is not the biggest issue in terms of people's enjoyment at work. I remember years ago when I was running a bank in the United Kingdom, spending some time working in Florida with Disney. I went to spend some time working with Disney, partly to get under the skin of how they are great at creating an experience for not only the staff, but also for particularly the customers. Going to work in Disney is not the place you go to earn more money. They are the lowest paying theme park in Florida, but they have more people want to go there and work. Why? Because of the culture of the organization, because they manage those people, they empower those people to make decisions. And for me, if you're going to create a world which is going to enable the talent to grow inside the organization for the organization to perform, you have to have an environment where you give those people the freedom, empower people almost to run it as if it was their business, different parts, whether you're running a branch, give people more opportunities to express themselves, allow people to make mistakes. Banks are not good at allowing people to make mistakes. You tend to, as a child, you learn by your mistakes. Go to work in a bank and actually you do something wrong, somebody will come along and slap you on the hand, or even worse. So they want you to always follow the rules. To me, you need to have much greater flexibility. You need to have a world which does put people first. And I endorse what Michael was saying earlier on about people ahead of customers. There's a brand in the United Kingdom called John Lewis. John Lewis as a brand pre-pandemic would have been one of the prime organizations for leading customer service in the UK. If you talk to the senior management there, they undertake all of the activity that's been good in what you've been talking about today, but they will tell you customers don't come first, but the staff come first. The people inside this organization make the organization. You know, any banking organization is not about technology. It's not about those infrastructure issues. It's about the people. Your customers see you in the eyes of the people they either meet or talk to on a regular basis. One of the questions earlier on was about, you know, technology being more important than people. And I think of something like the Formula One environment. Formula One spend huge amounts of money wanting to win races. You can have the best car that's actually operating. You can have all the best technology people behind the scenes. But if you don't have the best driver, if you ask your grandmother to drive the car, you will not win many races. The talent is in the people that make the difference. Sometimes it's a case of looking outside of the world of banking. I think sometimes banks are too insular. You need to look outside of that. Look at other industries, how they develop talent. Look at the sports arena. Look at the world of football, how talent is nurtured in some clubs better than others. You don't have to be the wealthiest clubs to really generate the talent inside those. Why do they develop there? Because of the leaders that they have, because people are interested in developing people. The best leaders to me are people who want people who work for them to be at least as good as they are, if not better. Do not feel threatened by developing people to be as good as, if not better than you. They will not come and take your jobs, but they are the future of an organization. People are the ones who will decide whether your business, your bank, survives or not. And many people that have listened to me in the past will know that I talk about the Gartner report from some 2 years ago, where Gartner predicted that by the year 2030, 80% of today's banking organizations will not exist. They may be wrong. Maybe it isn't 80%. Maybe it's only 40%. My question is, on which side of that line is your organization going to be? The side you're going to be on is the organization that develops its people, that has a place where people want to join, want to stay, want to make it a better world for their customers, but your job is to develop those people to be the very best they can be. If you do that, then you'll end up being a hugely successful organization. So I think from my point of view, we've had a huge amount of contribution in terms of quality ideas this morning, which has been great. I think looking at it from a talent perspective, there's a huge amount of talent out there. Some of it is hidden. And I can't remember who it was that was talking about the sort of hidden talent inside the organization. You have a lot of skill there. The case is you've got to allow that skill, that talent to rise up, like the sort of oil goes to the top and you put oil and water together, whether the cream rises to the top. That is the style of approach that has to develop. Your job in an organization as a leader, doesn't matter what part of the organization you're in, this is not just an HR issue. This is a leadership issue. It comes from the very top of the organization. You have to create a culture which is one where you want people to be better tomorrow than they were today. People will respond to that. It isn't about pay them more money and they're suddenly more happy. You know, salespeople, you have targets, they hit their target, they get paid an amount of money. So what? You know, they can go and spend it, but you've got to start all over again. You constantly want to create an environment where you want people to get better day after day. And they will do that because you give them responsibility. You empower them. You allow them to make decisions. You involve them. The management structure is one that is open, honest. All those issues that Michael talked about earlier on are so important. That's why there are the leaders in this world and the followers. The question is, which side are you as an organization going to be on? And I think from today's conversations, there's been a lot of insights, value adding. I know we haven't answered all the questions that are there, and hopefully some of those we can do post the event itself. But thank you to each and every one of you for your contributions and the time you've given up. And also thank you to all those attendees who've been listening in during the last 90 minutes or so. So thank you all very much indeed.
Thank you very much, John. And I would like to thank you very much, our great guests, for sharing your experience, for a lot of inspiration. And I, as I said, I think that this subject is such wide that we can continue this and we can talk about this for a day. But we won't stop our discussion about talent management. We will continue our discussion, and this time I would like to invite Jana Lendarova, who is HR and PR manager at Efma, who will share with you our way of supporting talent in the financial institutions. I will share the slide. Welcome, Jana, on our webinar.
Thank you, Ursula. So, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Ursula, for the word. I would like, after hearing all different talent management challenges and best practices from experts globally, I'd like to share with you some ideas of the program that Efma is currently developing for its members. Well, I understand the time pressure we are in, so I won't steal much of your precious time. It will take me about 5 minutes to present our ideas about talent exchange program we are developing right now. And I would like to ask you for your feedback afterwards, as we would like to design the program that would fit the needs of our members at the first place. So what is the talent exchange program and what's the aim of it? We all understand that people are our greatest assets. Also, we are aware that our organizations, as well as its people, have different strengths and weaknesses they can build upon. So our goal is to match non-competitive organizations among Efma members to exchange their high potential employees in order to develop new competencies, acquire new experiences, and last but not least, build new relations. We believe that exchange program will bring benefits for companies that would send their mentee to another bank or insurance company, as well as for the organizations accepting the external mentee into their structures and the team. So what are the benefits we are kind of thinking of or talking about? So when we think about the organization sending their mentee to another bank or insurance company, clearly we can see that mentee who becomes a part of different company and a working culture for a specific time period acquires new experience and develops new competencies in a practical, hands-on way. Also, they will be able to build relationships that's the benefit both them personally as well as their organizations. And moreover, I think all of us believe that upskilling, or we already heard it from other panelists, that upskilling and development opportunities present very often a strong motivation factor for employees. Other thing to mention is that international experience can positively influence mentees' leadership competencies. And last but not least, the mentee will secure the knowledge transfer to other team members in his or her organization. So these are the benefits for mentees and their organization. And what about, where do we see the benefits for organizations that would be willing to accept high potentials from another Efma members? Of course, the new external team member will bring new energy and ideas to an existing position or existing or new project. The hosting company may benefit from new perspectives and maybe a cultural diversity the mentee would bring with him or her. In case mentee is assigned a buddy from a mentoring organization, his or her buddy may benefit from developing own mentoring competencies. And at the end, we might not forget an extra capacity from the external environment, which is brought to the mentoring organization. So after presenting some benefits for both participating organizations, we'll move now to the scope of the program. In fact, later I would like to ask you to participate on the online poll to see what kind of arrangement would be the most beneficial to your own organization. So when thinking about the scope of the program, we are talking about three important pillars. It's eligibility, location, and duration.
Is it okay?
Ola, if I may ask, can we share the poll at the end of my
Okay, of course.
Thank you very much. So talent exchange program is aimed on organizations, first of all, that are non-competitive in their nature of business, but have similar areas of expertise or experience, or are open to talent exchange on the mutual agreement, of course. Well, within the situation we are experiencing, it's very hard to talk about the location, but exchange may be arranged as virtual assignment, as physical exchange within same country, continent, or overseas, depending, of course, on the current COVID situation and immigration legislation, or it can be kind of the mixture of both, of virtual and physical exchange. Based on the different researchers, the period of exchange should be minimally 3 months to maximum of 6 months. But of course, it is a subject to negotiations of both participating organizations. What's also important to consider is a clear view on strengths and weaknesses of your particular organization. So what are the topics that your bank or insurance company is strong in? Where could you share your best practices with other organizations? Or which areas are those you feel it would be beneficial to send your talent to get a new perspectives and experience? Based on the report we did just last year, the possible topics that resonate the most currently are AI and customer engagement, design thinking, digital sales management, open banking, agile transformation, and relationship-centric business design. Of course, your institution may have different topics where they feel strong or where they feel they would need kind of assistance from kind of external environment. So it's very individual. So that would be just for as an introduction. I don't want to steal more of your time. I hope our talent exchange program has catched your attention. And I would be very thankful if you could devote maximum 5 minutes of your time to participate on the prepared online poll. Your answers will definitely help us to target the program in more effective way to your needs. And also, in case of more specific questions on the program, I'll be very happy to answer, so don't hesitate to reach out to me. So, and Ula, if I may ask you.
Yeah, of course.
To share, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And just to mention, the replies are confidential. It's just for kind of helping us with the strategy. So thank you very much for your time and attention. Thanks, Ola, for sharing.
Thank you very much. Do you see? I see. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you see the question. I'm waiting for the answers. Okay, I will end that. I will share with you the results. It can be interesting. Okay, Diana, do you want me to go to the next question?
Definitely, thank you very much.
And another question. Okay. So I will go. I will share the results. And then we've got another question.
So the next question is, what are your organization's areas of expertise where you could share your knowledge or know-how? Where do you feel strong about it?
Okay.
It's really interesting to see that most of the participating organizations feel strong in relationship-centric business design, followed by agile transformation and design thinking. I mean, these are very popular topics. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, and we've got another question.
So what would be your preferred duration of the talent exchange program based on the possibilities of your organization?
And the results?
I see I have many HR colleagues between the audience, because really 3 to 6 months is the ideal timing. So thanks for sharing that.
Okay, and
So as I mentioned already, talent exchange can be arranged as a virtual assignment or physical exchange to another organization's location. What would be your preferred arrangement? Can be virtual, physical, or mix of virtual and physical, or both are acceptable for you? You have no really preference in this.
And the result?
So the result says that the preference is for mix of virtual and physical exchange. Thanks for sharing.
And we've got the last question.
So would your organization be interested in inviting external employee, mentee for best practices sharing?
Okay.
Well, I'm very positively surprised, honestly. Thank you so much to everyone who was helping us answering the poll questions. And I really hope we will be able to finish our program and introduce it to you on some soon occasion. So thank you very much. Have a nice rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. Thank you very much. And then I think that because we are after, we need to finish our meeting. And then I would like to invite you to take part in on our initiatives at Efma Business Academy and Advisory. We created this service, this offer for our members, for the financial institutions, to support them in developing people, in creating talent management programs. As you see, we support in different areas of expertise, so please be with us. And of course, we will prepare the next webinar. We are thinking about new initiatives. So we are thinking about new ideas, new programs, how we can support you in developing people, and of course in developing business and getting the success. And I would like to thank you very much for Yuma, for Omar, Michael, Jan, of course, John and Jana. I would like to thank you very much for taking part and to be our guests at today's webinar, for sharing your experience, for a lot of inspiration. I would like also to thank you for the participants, for your comments, because I saw on the chat that there were some comments, of course, a lot of questions. Some of them we could answer, but please forgive me, because of the lack of time, we couldn't answer all the questions. But I think that I'm sure that everybody found a lot of inspiration. And also after webinar, we will prepare the article and with the link for the recording, so you can also come back to us. But also, of course, we will prepare new ideas of the webinars and new topics we would like to discuss, of course, about the people development. So let's be in touch, and thank you very much for today, and have a great day, night, evening, afternoon, and see you on the next meeting. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.